You have big dreams. You can see the person you want to become. You can imagine the life you want to live. The success, the freedom, the confidence, the respect, the feeling of finally becoming someone you're proud of. In your mind, that version of you feels real. But then reality starts. You wake up. You tell yourself, today is the day. Today I finally start. Today I stop wasting time. And for a moment, you believe it. But then you check your phone, just for a few minutes, just to see what is happening. One video becomes another. One notification becomes 10. A few minutes become an hour. And before you even realize it, the energy you had in the morning is gone. So you tell yourself, I will start later. Later becomes tonight. Tonight becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. And deep down, you already know how this story ends. You go to bed disappointed in yourself again. Not because you do not have dreams, but because another day passed and you did not move closer to them. And the painful part is this. You know you are capable of more. You know there's something inside you that wants to grow, build, create, learn, change, win. But for some reason, when it is time to act, you freeze. You avoid. You delay. You escape into comfort. And then you start asking yourself dangerous questions. Am I just lazy? Am I weak? Do I not want it badly enough? Maybe I'm not built for success. But what if laziness is not the real problem? What if the problem is not your ambition, your intelligence, or your potential? What if your brain has simply learned to choose comfort every time life asks you for courage? Because that is what is really happening. You're not broken. You're not hopeless. You're stuck in a pattern, and patterns can be changed. The first thing you need to understand is that your brain is not designed to make you successful. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. That sounds simple, but it explains almost everything. When you think about your goals, you think about the result. You imagine the reward, the money, the body, the business, the confidence, the freedom, the new identity. But your brain sees something else. It sees effort. It sees uncertainty. It sees possible failure. It sees judgment. It sees rejection. It sees discomfort. And because your brain wants to protect you from pain, it offers you an easier option. Scroll, watch something, eat something, sleep a little more, organize your plans again, research more, wait until you feel ready. And every time you choose the easier option, your brain rewards you with relief. For a moment, the pressure disappears. You feel safe again. You feel comfortable again. But comfort has a hidden cost. Every time you avoid the work, you feel better in the short term and worse in the long term. That is the trap. Avoidance feels like relief today, but tomorrow it becomes regret. And if you repeat that cycle long enough, regret becomes your identity. You stop saying, I avoided the work. You start saying, I am lazy. You stop saying, I had a bad day. You start saying, this is who I am. But it is not who you are. It is only what you have been practicing. You have practiced avoiding discomfort. You have practiced choosing instant pleasure. You have practiced waiting for motivation. You have practiced escaping when something feels difficult. And whatever you practice, your brain gets better at. This is why you can feel extremely motivated at night and completely unmotivated the next morning. At night, there is no immediate challenge. You're lying in bed, imagining change. The future feels exciting because you do not have to face it yet. You make plans. You promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. You feel inspired. But then tomorrow arrives, and now the dream is no longer a fantasy. Now it demands action. Now it demands focus. Now it demands sacrifice. And suddenly, the motivation disappears. That does not mean your dream is fake. It means motivation is weak. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unstable. You cannot build your life on something that disappears the moment you feel tired, bored, afraid, or uncomfortable. You need something stronger than motivation. You need structure. You need systems. You need discipline. And most importantly, you need to stop waiting to feel ready. Because readiness is one of the biggest lies your mind will ever tell you. You keep waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect plan, the perfect amount of energy, the perfect level of confidence. But the perfect moment never comes. And while you are waiting, your life is moving. Days are passing. Months are passing. Years are passing. And the version of you that you want to become is still waiting for you to take the first real step. This is where perfectionism enters the picture. A lot of people who call themselves lazy are not actually lazy. They're afraid. They're afraid to start because starting makes the dream real. And once the dream becomes real, it can fail. As long as your goal only exists in your imagination, it is safe. It can still be perfect there. You can still believe that you would succeed if you really tried. But once you take action, reality gives you feedback. Maybe your first attempt is bad. Maybe people ignore you. Maybe you make mistakes. Maybe progress is slower than you expected. And that scares you. So your mind creates a clever excuse. I need more preparation. I need a better plan. I need to learn more. I need to wait until I am more confident. But many times, preparation is just fear wearing a smart disguise. Learning can become procrastination. Planning can become avoidance. Thinking can become a way to escape doing. And this is the hard truth. You do not need more information. You need more execution. You already know at least one thing you should be doing. You know the habit you need to build. You know the distraction you need to reduce. You know the project you need to start. You know the decision you keep delaying. You know, the problem is not that you do not know. The problem is that knowing feels safe, but doing feels risky. But doing is the only thing that changes your life. Not watching videos about discipline. Not reading quotes about success. Not imagining your future self. Action changes you. Small action, repeated action, imperfect action. That is how your brain begins to believe that you are someone who follows through. You do not become disciplined by thinking about discipline. You become disciplined by doing the thing when you do not feel like doing it. And at first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your brain will resist. It will tell you that you are tired. It will tell you that tomorrow is better. It will tell you that you deserve a break. It will remind you of every reason why now is not the right time. But that resistance is not a stop sign. It is a signal. It means you're stepping outside the pattern your brain is used to. And every time you act despite that resistance, you teach your brain something powerful. You teach it that discomfort is not danger. You teach it that effort will not destroy you. You teach it that you can survive boredom, fear, uncertainty, and frustration. That is how discipline is built. Not through one dramatic transformation. Not through one perfect routine. Not through waking up as a completely different person. Discipline is built one small promise at a time. You say you will work for 15 minutes, and you do it. You say you will write one page, and you do it. You say you will train today, and you do it. You say you will put the phone away, and you do it. The action may look small from the outside, but inside your brain, something important is happening. You are rebuilding trust with yourself. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, your self-respect gets weaker. And every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, your self-respect gets stronger. This is why you should not try to change your whole life in one day. That is another trap. You waste months doing nothing, then suddenly decide you will become perfect overnight. You create a huge plan. Wake up at 5 a.m. Exercise every day. Eat perfectly. Work for 10 hours. Read 50 pages. Stop all distractions. Change everything at once. And for 1 or 2 days, you feel powerful. Then your brain gets overwhelmed. You miss one day, then you feel like a failure. Then you give up completely. That is not discipline. That is emotional intensity. And emotional intensity does not last. Real change is smaller, slower, and more boring than you want it to be, but is also more powerful. Start with one action so small that you cannot argue with it. 10 minutes of focused work. One paragraph. One workout set. One clean corner of your room. One message sent. One page read. One step. The goal is not to impress yourself. The goal is to prove to your brain that you're the type of person who starts. Because starting is the skill you have been avoiding. Once you start, momentum can grow. But if you keep waiting for motivation, momentum never gets a chance to exist. You also need to understand the role of your environment. Your environment is shaping your behavior more than you think. If your phone is next to you, you will probably check it. If your bed is close, you will probably lie down. If your desk is messy, your mind will feel messy. If notifications are constantly pulling at your attention, focus will feel impossible. This is not only a willpower problem, it is a design problem. People who seem disciplined often do not rely on heroic willpower all day. They create environments where good choices are easier and bad choices are harder. They remove temptation. They reduce friction. They make focus the default. So if you want to change, stop testing your willpower against an environment designed to distract you. Put your phone in another room. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. Choose a specific time for deep work. Prepare your workspace before you begin. Make the first step obvious. Make distraction inconvenient. Make action simple. Your brain follows the path of least resistance. So design that path carefully. Another thing you need to stop doing is confusing consumption with progress. Watching content about success can feel productive. Reading about productivity can feel productive. Listening to motivational speeches can feel productive. But if none of it turns into action, it is just another form of entertainment. You do not become successful by studying success forever. At some point, you must close the video, close the book, close the browser, and do the work, even badly, especially badly, because your first attempts will probably not be good, and that is okay. Your first video may be awkward. Your first business idea may fail. Your first workout may feel weak. Your first page may sound terrible. Your first step may feel embarrassing. But bad work is not the enemy. Bad work is the beginning. You cannot improve something that does not exist. You cannot edit a blank page. You cannot build confidence from imagination alone. Confidence comes after action, not before. You do not wait until you feel confident to start. You start, and confidence grows because you see yourself surviving the process. This is why failure is not the opposite of success. Inaction is. Failure teaches you. Inaction only keeps you stuck. Failure gives feedback. Inaction gives regret. Failure can be used. Inaction only steals time. Every successful person you admire has failed, adjusted, learned, and continued. The difference is not that they never felt fear. The difference is that they moved with fear. They acted while uncertain. They started before they were ready, and they allowed themselves to be beginners. You need to allow yourself to be a beginner too. Stop demanding greatness from your first attempt. Stop expecting perfection before practice. Stop using high standards as a reason to never begin. You're not supposed to be amazing at the start. You're supposed to start. And once you start, you need to keep coming back, because you'll have bad days. You will fall back into old habits. You will waste time again. You will lose focus. You will break your routine. That does not mean you failed. It means you are human. The real danger is not one bad day. The real danger is turning one bad day into a bad identity. Do not say, "I ruined everything." Say, "I slipped. Now I return." That is the mindset that changes lives. Not perfection. Return. Return to the work. Return to the habit. Return to the promise. Return to the person you are becoming. And while you're building discipline, you also need self-compassion, because shame will not save you. Beating yourself up every night will not make you stronger. Calling yourself lazy, stupid, weak, or hopeless will not create discipline. It will only make you feel heavier. And when you feel heavier, you escape even more. Self-compassion does not mean making excuses. It means telling yourself the truth without destroying yourself. It means saying, "Yes, I wasted time today, but I can still take one step. Yes, I avoided the work, but I can return now. Yes, I am behind, but I am not finished." You need both honesty and kindness. Honesty without kindness becomes shame. Kindness without honesty becomes excuse. But together they create growth. So here is the new identity you need to practice. You're not a lazy person trying to become disciplined. You're a disciplined person learning how to stop running from discomfort. That may sound simple, but identity matters, because your behavior follows the story you believe about yourself. If you keep telling yourself, "I am lazy," your brain will look for evidence to confirm it. But if you begin telling yourself, "I am someone who takes small action even when it is uncomfortable," your brain starts looking for evidence of that too. And every small action becomes proof. Every focused minute becomes proof. Every distraction resisted becomes proof. Every time you start before you feel ready, you become more real to yourself. Not in fantasy, in action. So today, do not try to change your entire life. Do not create a perfect plan. Do not wait for the perfect mood. Do not promise yourself a dramatic transformation. Just take one step, one real step. Work for 10 minutes. Write one paragraph. Clean your space. Send the message. Open the project. Do the first repetition. Make the first decision. And when your brain says, this is too small to matter, ignore it. Small actions repeated consistently become identity. Identity becomes behavior. Behavior becomes destiny. You have spent enough time imagining the life you want. Now it is time to build it. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Not when motivation finally arrives. Now, because the version of you that you want to become is not created in your imagination. That version is created in the quiet moments when nobody is watching. When you choose focus instead of distraction. When you choose effort instead of escape. When you choose one small action instead of another empty promise. You are capable of more than you have shown yourself. But nobody can prove that for you. Nobody can rescue you from your own avoidance. Nobody can build your future while you stay comfortable. This is your responsibility, and that is not a punishment. It is power, because if your patterns were learned, they can be unlearned. If your habits were built, they can be rebuilt. If your brain adapted to comfort, it can adapt to discipline. You're not broken. You're not hopeless. You are not lazy at your core. You're simply stuck in a loop that rewards comfort and delays growth. And now you can break it. One choice at a time. One action at a time. One uncomfortable moment at a time. So stop waiting for the person you want to become. Start becoming that person today. And remember this. The life you want will not be built by the version of you that only dreams. It will be built by the version of you that finally does. If this message helped you see yourself more clearly, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and watch the next video on the screen to keep understanding the hidden psychology behind your behavior. Because once you understand your mind, you can stop being controlled by it, and you can finally start becoming the person you were meant to be.